Hey everyone, welcome to the show that asks you to pull out your chairs, get your TTRPG books, and join us at the table. Today we're doing a long-awaited character build. Really excited because if you haven't been watching Age of Legends, here's a little sneak peek. They're going to a place in central and eastern Osmicon called the Godlands, where there's god fauna, super fauna, bigger than you can possibly imagine, and that's what we're going to be building today. Some awesome creature, massive monster for our heroes to fight. This will be showing up in the episode, so stay tuned, check it out, and then look for it in Age of Legends in the weeks to come. But without further ado, Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
As always, I am Michael Kapow, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. And how about you?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Come find me. Let's have a good time. Now, without further ado, let's get building.
Yeah.
At the table, the only show that tells you to pull out your chairs, get your TTRPG books, and join us at the table. And today, right now, we're going to be doing our character build. It's been a little while. We've had a lot of really awesome things to talk about. So it's only fitting that we come back with full force. And what we're going to be talking about today, what we're going to be building with you, the chat today, is some of the super fauna, the godly creatures that live in East Osmicon's Godlands, which should be appearing sometime in the episodes in the weeks to come in Age of Legend.
All right. Really quick, I want to run through the monster types in Pathfinder. It says Pathfinder 1E, but I think this also is monster types in 1E and 2E. I don't think there's too much of a difference, right, PJ?
Yes, there is. There's more or less the same stuff. They've just broken it down into more easily digestible factoids like alignment, size, monster type, and maybe a secondary monster type or something else important about the creature.
Okay, but I just want to run through some more commonly known monster types. And after I run through them, PJ, let us know whether these are types that we're going to more likely or not run into in the Godlands or not. Mm-hmm. First one is aberrations.
An aberration, no. Aberrations, or things that are aberrant, tend to come from more Cthulhuan mythos, if you will. They come from like outer space, deep in the cosmos. They're usually very creepy, wormy things, and they don't function with our sense of reality and physics.
Or stuff that we found on a certain mad scientist goblin boat.
Yeah, those are more abominations, but they're very similar in struggles with anatomy.
Animal. I think we're going to be encountering quite a bit of animals, right?
Absolutely, animals. I would say animals, beasts. Those are pretty good go-tos. Monsters are okay. I don't see anything being fiendish, demonic, diabolic, celestial.
What about constructs?
No constructs. Those are things like golems and things like that. So I don't see constructs being the case.
Dragon?
There may be a dragon. This is Osmicon. There are a handful of dragons around Osmicon. Whether or not you're going to make them up today, I'm going to say no. Only because I'd like to take a minute to talk about what I want to help the chat with be parameters for these creatures that we're going to be making. Because, again, the players are only level 3. And while sometimes I'm an a-hole and I throw some tough challenges at them, I don't want there to be, like... I don't want creatures coming in that are just such a headache. So here's the parameters that we can work together with. You, the chat, us, the people on the show. First and foremost, the creatures that we're building should be no less than a CR 3 and no more than a CR 6. So think of a range of CR 3 to 6. They can't be bigger than huge. Yes, this Godlands does have super fauna, and we will test that theory when we get to the episode. But for the sake of building something for these players to fight, I don't want
we don't want to die.
Creature. A colossal creature is just it begs a bit too much of combat and narrative to fight a colossal creature.
Rufa does not want to get stomped on.
Yeah. Plus, like, it would be so unfair for like Rufa to try to do a range trip or range disarm on a colossal creature.
Yeah.
There's no way he can flip that thing.
Unless you like enlarge Rufa.
Yeah.
But anyway, just a couple more really quick. I was just run through if you don't mind, PJ.
Sure, sure.
The Fae.
Um, for the Godlands, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Ooze.
No.
Plant.
Sure. I will accept plant, absolutely.
Undead.
Ooh, I'm gonna say no.
No on
But
undead.
there are tons of undead in Osmocon, but not
Uh,
in the Godlands.
vermin.
Ooh, yes.
There's going to be vermin.
Yes. I can see
Uh,
that, yeah.
two more. Outsider.
No, I think Outsider still kind of goes all around that. It's not quite an aberration or an aberrant, but it's something not of this plane.
And you know what the most dangerous game to hunt is? Humanoid.
Uh, Not in the Godlands, because that's mostly like super fauna, but there will be humanoids that you'll run into in Osmocon for sure.
All right, so you know what? Let's just jump into it. Oh, really quick, let's actually just jump into chat for a hot sec. Let's see. Oh, we got Adam Generator jumping in. Hey, what's up, man? Adam Generator posted, "It's been a while since I could catch a Tuesday stream." Uh, hey, it's good to see you again, buddy. And yeah, he's also posted that there's a little difference between first and second edition monster types.
Hmm.
Let's see. We also got Reef Psyche is suggesting a moose. Not any kind of special moose, just a moose. You don't have to adjust it. It's a moose.
I mean, moose alone are basically godly. I
Yeah.
friggin' love how destructive those things are.
Adam Jenner posted, now only oozes are immune to critical hits and sneak attacks. That's good to know. And let's see. Oh, Penguin Witch Doctor posted, the Palanquin just got stats in the Bestiary 3.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm going to look up the pangolin stats because the pangolins are adorable little aardvarks, anteater things. No celestial triceratops are demonic T-Rexes. Sadly, not in the Godlands. That they may exist, and you may customize them in EFL, of course. But I'm trying to keep what you guys are going to be creating to a focused ramification, so I can throw it. So basically, what we make here will fight the heroes of Edge of Legend and not destroy them with a celestial smite.
As you said before, it's mainly going to be like animalistic kind of creatures in the Godlands, maybe some plant creatures. One of the things I actually really like doing is, like, for my games, I like mixing, matching, like, two animals, combine them into one, much like that tradition, that familiar owlbear. Or maybe give certain animals a extra set of limbs, like, I forgot the name of the. It's basically a gorilla with another set of arms under its regular arms.
Yeah, I've seen something like that. There's a monster like that. There's also something called monkey bees.
Yeah.
So Adam Jenner said, "What about a mother effing crab? Like a big mother effing crab." I'm down for that too. To give a bit more context about the yes, Ripsaki put the gorillion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gorillion. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So to get more context, if you want to get the lore of the Godlands essentially is a massively dense, thick jungle forest of East and Central Osmocon that creatures in there inherently grew massive. Some of them are actually gods, like the bat god of the Aztecs, or some of them are scions of gods. And some of them are just so big and powerful and old, they are revered as gods out of fear and misunderstanding by other people of Osmocon. Not in ignorance, but like there's a whole history there and it didn't go very well between the people and the animals. But they are animals. They are traditional animals put to such a massive scale, power, and representation of an animal that it's not so much like mutants. Like you're not going to have like an ape with 10 arms, although that does sound pretty cool. Not going to lie. So think about like if you want to stat a huge sized crab, how would we create, like Adam Jenner said, this huge size crab? What kind of things we're gonna do?
Also, what is it? Okay. Oh, never mind. I just blanked on what I was gonna say.
Well,
Yeah. Just honestly, it reminds me of creatures from what is it? Skull Island from King Kong.
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of like the whole King of the Monsters tropes where you have massive creatures.
Kaijus.
And yeah, exactly. Kaijus. Best way to think about it. There will be a kaiju lion at some point. But also I do want to say that is there the potential for a celestial or demonic one of these creatures? Maybe. But this is just for the sake of us creating together because they're gonna fight these heroes. I don't want to give them like a CR6 dinosaur with like demonic fire and smite powers. I think that would be really cool, but also it would be a nightmare for balancing.
So, from it sounds like it, do you want to jump in with the crab creature? Is this just going to be a giant crab, or are we adding anything to it?
Well, we can definitely do that. Let's talk about it. Let's think about what we think would happen if we created a CR 3 to 6, I don't know, large or huge sized crab in a land called the Godlands or Godlands in Central and East Asmacon.
Really quick, is it Godlands as in two words or one?
I I'm going to say because I think when I wrote it down, it was one word, the Godlands, but I think the thing about words is that how they are said and how they're spoken and presented matters, right? We have whole thousands of years of history where a country has gone by different names to different people or spoken different by different tongues. So I think you're not wrong either way. Godlands or Godlands, they're both correct.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, giant crab. Are we adding anything extra to it, or are we just going with a giant crab?
Well, let's see what we can add down the road. Let's let inspiration guide us as we continue. We have a giant crab. How tough do you want this to be on a scale of 3 to 6? Do you want it to CR4, CR5, or do you really want to push the envelope and say CR6?
I'm going with 4. I kind of want to go with 4 because I have an idea. It's actually based off of, I think, a subspecies of crab that's actually real from Earth.
Okay. Let's see what the chat says as well. So Adam Generator is saying a CR5. Do you mind if we bump that up to a 5, Michael?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, one of the things is I was going to suggest is I think it's a delicacy. It's a food. I think it's from Shanghai. Hairy crab.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it actually have hair on it?
Yeah. The hair though is usually on the underbelly. It's like a filter.
Oh, okay. I like
But
that.
I was thinking if this is a giant hairy crab and we're gonna kick it up into like a fantasy world thing, why don't we add like a bunch of fur to the back shell of it as well? Because I was thinking maybe that fur is like a protection. Like it's kind of like how some animals have a lot of fur, like sheep or whatever, where it makes it difficult for like stuff to pierce it.
Well, let's put a bookmark in that because that's a really good point. But we need to figure out some other details like the size. Do you want to go large or huge?
Let's go with the size. What's the size of a horse?
Horses generally are considered large-sized creatures. So this would be a crab the size of a horse.
Yeah.
If we go large, if we go huge, then I want to say a huge-sized creature is equivalent to
A mature tree.
yeah, like a really big tree or like a really big elephant.
Mm-hmm.
Might be wrong on that elephant part.
Either way, I'm going for the giant hairy crab.
Okay, so let's go with huge because I think I have an idea of how to do this. So we have a neutral huge aquatic animal.
What if it's like kind of semi-aquatic? It makes its home along the river or like ocean.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean it's a crab, so thankfully it's I don't know, amphibious isn't correct, but it's land and sea. It's good.
Yeah.
Reap Psyche in the chat was saying crabs are the evolution of all life, at the end point of all evolution. It should be a CR6.
Yeah. And honestly, I know we make a lot of these creatures for us to fight, but I think it'd be kind of cool for this creature. It's more of a docile, like scavenger type creature. It won't bother you unless you bother them. AKA, if someone from our party decides to go hunting for one, they're gonna be in a fight. But normally, they're just on their own, like eating, like scavenging some food. That'd be kind of interesting. Well, having like a background creature, Well,
I'll say this. We'll see what plot decides. The chat is is kind of excited about you guys fighting a crab. Adam Genrea says crabs are hella territorial. Reap Psyche says you could also go to the super carnization route and make another huge creature into a crab. Carcinization, there we go, route, and make another huge crab. Also, some great conversations about moose. Right now, all of the war moose are in the far part of the north. So, yes to moose, but they're all on a different continent at this point in time. Okay, so we're discussing this giant crab. I'm seeing some great stuff about what it could wear on its back. I'm actually considering, if you guys will allow this creative twist of mine, that on its back, now obviously the hair is still there, Michael, because I love that idea. But as like a hermit crab of sorts, the house on its back is actually a big abandoned ship that was just destroyed off the coast. It kind of stuck in there, and now it's just moving around with this giant boat on it.
I mean, we could also literally just call it the giant bearded crab.
It could also be a giant bearded crab. That's also true.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save the boat crab for more of the higher end of the god fauna or the super fauna. Let's make this a little, let's say like on a scale of 1 to 10, this would be maybe like a 7 as far as like size and presence is concerned.
Okay.
So I think the hair is a really good choice. Let's talk about mechanically what that hair could do for this creature.
Maybe the hair has, it gives it I think it's called resistance to piercing damage.
Okay. Ooh, what about resistance to slashing damage? Because it's thick hair, right?
Yeah, or piercing and slashing, maybe.
I could do that. Okay, so let's see. It's a neutral, huge, aquatic animal. I will figure out. So it's a crab.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have a pretty high AC, I would imagine, because its natural armor is pretty dense. Do you want to put maybe like, oh gosh, something like dire bone spurs on it, so it's like got a rough shell. It can like.
I kind of want to say because it has a hair, it doesn't really need that.
Okay.
Because typically animals evolve out of necessity. Defense is often necessity. Also, I'm thinking, could we give it weakness to bludgeoning? I'm just thinking, cracking a shell open.
Yeah. No, I'm actually down with that. I'm trying to think. Do we want that to be on the hairy crab or a non-hairy? Because I'm thinking the hair would make almost like an impact absorption, right?
Maybe.
How about this? Let's make the hairy crab a soft body crab. That's why it's got the hair, right?
Yeah.
For warmth and protection. Okay. So it has resistance against bludgeoning and slashing, but it has weakness to bludgeoning and slashing, but it has a resistance to piercing. No, other way. It has resistance to bludgeoning and slashing, weakness to piercing. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. There we go.
That works. I'm down for that.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to put this by... So I'm going to say it has a weakness 5, because that's enough. That stacks really fast. Mm-hmm. Weakness 5 to piercing, and a resistance of 5 to...
Penguin Witch Doctor posted, giant hermit crab does have a weakness to bludgeoning 5.
Yes, that is the hermit crab. This is basically, I think we're kind of working on this being a soft-bodied hairy crab. Mm-hmm. So its dermis is going to be a different consistency.
Yeah.
Now, for the ship crab that I kind of mentioned earlier, where it's going to have a sharper, more coarse dermis, yes, absolutely, you are correct, Penguin Witch Doctor.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Reap Psyche also posted weakness specifically to a combo of grease and fireball spells in combination, but only if the grease spell is flavored as butter.
You're going to hear a point, but also you make a very good point. Because it's covered in hair is extremely flammable, or at least notoriously flammable. I think maybe what we could do is we could make a rule that it has weakness to fire, but after a certain number of rounds, when it loses that hair because it's burned off, it's no longer either weak or it automatically gets persistent fire damage. and then for like 2 or 3 rounds, and then it automatically ends because it's burning the hair off.
I think honestly, burning the hair off, it just you're taking off its defense, so it's just a soft body crab, so it's more easily taken care of with other means. I still think, yeah, I think it just makes sense. Less work also, really. Just go weakness fire then at that
Weakness
point.
fire. Okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
That'll also make some mages have more, or casters have more confidence in
Mm-hmm.
fighting this massive thing. Okay.
Uh, Reap Psyche posted, I was just writing. Oh, let's see. Reap Psyche posted, I was just writing the persistent damage idea, totally. And Adam Generator posted, every crab should have at least plus grab to their pincers.
I agree 1,000%. When we get to the attacks, Adam Generator, trust that I will make sure there is a grapple on this, because I don't know if y'all noticed, PJ loves him some grapple effects on monsters.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make a small note about the persistent fire damage. It may be a bit more work, but I think it's going to activate differently if you think about it. Doing 1d6 persistent fire damage versus bonus 5 more fire damage, it's gonna explore in different ways.
Yeah.
So I'll do that extra work because as a GM, I think that might also be more fun for players. So I'm going to make that note about the I'm going to say the hairy soft body.
Let's see. What else about crabs? Oh, you know how I know there's some ancestries who have dark vision or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking usually if they have dark vision, they're more weak towards bright lights. I kind of want to say crabs kind of would have a kind of a weakness towards bright lights, like a light sensitivity. I think because they're aquatic creatures usually.
Interesting. That I could kind of see that. Maybe they take like a negative on perception checks when they are in bright light and on dry
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Let's see, Sparkly NPC, which by the way, Sparkly NPC, love your name. It's good. My Agents of Edgewater character got stuck in a grapple and never managed to get out. I'm so sorry. That sucks.
And to this day, they're still in that grapple.
They never did get out of the grapple. You know, one day I think the neck, was it the neck better get cracking or die trying or whatever.
Better
I
get
was trying to make a
grappling
joke, it
or
failed.
yeah, whatever. Anyway,
Get grappling or die trying.
exactly. Adam Generator also posted. So, if you are grabbed by it, you should also receive persistent acid damage. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say persistent acid. I would say maybe persistent bludgeoning damage because it is crushing, but not acid.
I do agree that there should be a persistent damage, and I agree with Michael. The crushing aspect is really important from that claw, and we can even make that the crushing damage is hardy.
Yeah. I mean,
I
we could
also
just. Oh, sorry.
no, I was gonna say I also think there is something that Reap Psyche said about acid, not in the claw, but I think because these creatures generally make like bubbles and stuff, they could have like a projectile, ranged projectile that has like acid and cold damage.
PJ,
or
we're
acid and
essentially
water.
now making a Pokemon.
I mean, every animal is a Pokemon when you think about it.
But I was gonna say, you know what? What if instead of this persistent damage, let's just, you know what? It's already there in the game. Let's just take the crushing grab from the monk feat and give it to the crab. It's already there.
Yeah, I think that is a good basis. I think we can just
Yeah.
kind of flub the numbers a bit to reflect its stats a little better. Okay, so this is how slow I write. Back to the hairy soft body. I decided to make the ruling, just I think a bit more balanced for both the crab's sake and the player's sake, that the 1d6 persistent fire damage from the burning hair only takes into effect if a fire attack crits the creature. If you crit the creature, its hair will naturally catch on fire. Now, if you're already doing a fire effect where that already happens, it adds no matter what another 1d6 persistent fire damage. So you can just nuke this thing if you really hit hard like a fireball spell.
Adam Jenner posted, what about if that hair is like those hairs some animals have that have digestive acid? Like I said, once again, we are at least this is how I feel. We're leaning now towards it. We're getting too getting too complicated into things with just one creature, you know?
Yeah. And we tend to do it, but that's great. It's a good source of creativity.
Yeah.
I would love to take that digestive fiber, put it somewhere else. I will say that last night I was up until 2:30 a.m. Uh, planning tomorrow's episode, and I
Hmm.
think you're going to see some things inadvertently already in
Yeah.
place that may be similar, and I'm really excited for that.
Hmm.
Um,
But I was gonna say, essentially, this is how I view the hair because this is what the actual animals have in real life. The hair basically as acts as a water filtration system for the animal when it's in
mhm,
water. That's how I see the purpose of the hair being.
yeah. Um, and I also think of it as a really interesting, like, what's what I'm looking for? Natural thing. Like, if you're a soft body crab, you're going to be more susceptible to cold.
Yeah.
So the hair is not only a good filtration system, but a good like natural heating system, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so scientifically, it makes sense, and thematically, mechanically, it adds some very interesting things. Like for
Yeah.
example, the hair kind of protects them from bludgeoning and
Hmm.
slashing damage, but also makes them pretty susceptible to fire if they catch on fire.
Yeah. And also, I don't know about PJ, but I like it when the an animal or creature it has maybe one or two gimmicks. You don't want to like load up a creature with too many gimmicks at once. It just gets needlessly complicated. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay, so Adam Generator, calling you out, my dude. We're on the crushing grab, the
Yeah.
pincer part of this thing's attacks. I have written the hairy soft body, all of the defenses. I'm leaving the HP, AC, fort, reflex, and will a little open ended right
Hmm.
now. We'll figure that out later. For sure, this creature's going to have stupid high con and stupid high strength. Probably suck everywhere else.
Hmm.
So this crushing grab right now is bludgeoning damage. I'm basing its dice on a D12 because it's a strong big boy. Besides grapple, what else should this weapon have? So it automatically grapples on a successful hit. Is it going to have any other perks or traits? Trip, disarm. What are we feeling? What are we thinking?
Personally, I think that's all you really need.
Just
Like,
grapple.
yeah, just grapple because yeah, animals they don't need that many gimmicks. It just needs what it needs to survive.
True. And nature shows the simplest creatures the ones that have the best chance of survival.
Exactly.
Let's see here.
I mean, I think personally, I think we're good. I think let's jump up to the second one. Let's just
Okay,
one more, and then we could call it a day
sure.
because we
There
are getting down
is.
to that time.
Yeah, we are. We absolutely are. Okay, how about you start this off? I'm going to add some fishing touches I think might be kind of interesting.
All right,
We'll go from
so
there.
all right, we got some folks in chat is actually asking for some constructs. Um, I according to PJ, I don't believe we are doing constructs. We're going more the magical beast route or plant. I'm saying, hey, we went with animal. Maybe let's get to a plant-based creature. Maybe.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Adam Jenner was saying constrict, not
Oh,
construct,
constrict. Okay,
as in
constrict.
the creature's constricting. Yeah, I think that's definitely a part of
Yeah.
it. The crushing grab would have the.
FYI, I'm not wearing my prescription glasses, and these are not prescription.
Let's see. I think the constrict trait says the monster deals a listed amount of damage to any number of creatures grabbed or restrained by it. Each of those creatures can attempt a basic fortitude save with the listed DC. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect, Adam Jenner. I think you've added just the thing I needed in just the right
There
words.
you go. There you go. But yeah, why don't we go with the plant-based creature next? Do you guys have any? See, yeah, fauna, flora, and the fauna. So the flora. Any super flora creatures?
I
Maybe
mean, at this point, we can pull some good
maybe a
old Audrey too
Bulbasaur.
from.
If we're going with the Pokemon route, we can go with the Bulbasaur.
Oh man, is that okay? Bulbasaur, Fauna, or Flora? You decide.
Both.
Yeah, it really is a little bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know, PJ. Have you seen that art? Some of the art that's been going around of like let's see, Bulbasaurs from different parts of the world, and also Bulbasaurs from different seasons.
I have. I love it. The fall Bulbasaur.
Yeah,
Very nice.
the pumpkin Bulbasaur. Oh, now I'm thinking maybe a creature kind of related to the what they're called, the Leshi,
Oh, the
the plant
Leshy.
ancestry,
Yeah.
Leshis. Yeah, maybe something related to the Leshis. Ooh, are there Leshis in the Godlands?
There absolutely would be. There absolutely could be as well. So I think what we can do here, and I've seen some great ideas in chat about
Oh,
plants with like luring prey abilities. You know, like
yeah.
Venus fly plants and
Ooh,
some
okay.
that emit a good scent.
I got two ideas I want to pitch you guys. One idea, they're like the creatures from Zelda. They're like little. They wear masks and everything. They're like kind of a cross between like a pixie and a plant, I think. I don't remember what they're called, but they wear it's from Majora's Mask, I think. Something along the lines of that, or a plant parasite. Maybe
Mm,
a parasite that latches onto giant insects.
be interesting. That could be a thing. I'm trying to think of like plants more common, like carnivorous plants more
Mm-hmm.
common to like South and Central America.
Yeah. Oh, Adam Generator and Reef Psyche posted the Dekus from Legend of Zelda. Yeah, I think that's what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be, dude. Honestly, a subspecies of Lishis. These are the Dekus of the Godlands.
It
Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
absolutely could be. I kind of like how it has that twist to it as well. All right. Okay, I got the basics of this creature down. So far, the giant crab, a neutral, huge aquatic animal, weakness 5 to piercing damage, resistance 5 to bludgeoning, slashing damage. The hairy, soft body provides it with these bonuses, but also on a crit with a fire attack, adds a 1d6 persistent fire damage effect. It has the crushing grab, which then has the grapple and constrict feature, goes right into the crushing grab ability, for lack of a better word, which doesn't do any bonus damage, but I think right now I'm just going to have it be rolled just to kind of keep it fair to the players. And then Claw Hammer, good old Pokemon move. It's just going to take its
Mm-hmm.
claw and slam it down, a good old slam attack, which is
Mm-hmm.
going to be similar to the crushing grab, but it has a knockback of 15 feet effect that you have to make on a save, a fortitude save.
Hey, PJ, I know we're creating creatures, but what do you think about creating a really quick, at least a basic idea of a heritage of the Lishis for the Godlands?
I don't think we have the time, because it is about that time. But I think we can come up with a basic idea. I love the idea because I feel like if we make this creature almost like an event as opposed to a combat, this could be really interesting. The Leshy that the super Leshy that allures people. You know, like it has a giant pheromone mist, and then it becomes a will save contest to try and save them from eating you, and then you enter a swallowing whole contest if you're not careful.
We can do that.
All right, well, I'm
So,
gonna write that down. Let's do it. What do you guys think?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
the
down for
equivalent of the
that.
Portuguese man o' war. Okay, I need to take a lesson on that. I thought the man o' war was a type of jellyfish. Is it a jellyfish or a fungus? All right. Leshy land siren. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make that a thing. Cool. I'm gonna make a quick note, and then I'm gonna write the stats up for this later.
Hmm.
Um,
Because honestly, I'm looking at the heritages. They're pretty short, honestly.
they are, but it is time to
Yeah, true,
call it a
true,
day.
true.
So,
We'll save it for next time.
yeah, and absolutely, everyone in the chat, your notes and your ideas were communicated and picked up. I definitely love the idea of the all crab that Reef Psyche mentioned, the ever crab. I am all crabs in one. And I love the idea of fungus creatures definitely in this forest. There may be a dragon or two, maybe some things that may consider dinosaurs, but right now, there's definitely a fight coming up in like the next 2 or 3 episodes of Edge of Legend. Who can really say when we're going to get there? Where they're going to fight a giant hairy crab, CR6. I'll get the stats later as we go along, and of course the Leshy Aroma Trap, which will be a fun little game.
Mm.
So until then, thank you so much for all the information about man wars, jellyfishes, fungus creatures. Thank you, Sparkly NPC. Can't wait to see you again. Adam Generator, great to see you. It's been a long time. I might have to sneak in some Deku people living in the Godlands. as like native living people to this place that, they're the ones that can survive because they're plant people.
Yeah.
And until then, happy April 20th, and we'll see you next time. Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, I am Michael Powell. You can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. Or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff like my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And you can also find me on Toyzilla Network on Twitch on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I co-host a show called, Toyzilla Live, where we talk about toy news and etc. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. Hope to see you there. And what about you, PJ?
Hi, everyone. My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw when I'm here with my man, Mr. Michael Powell. On Tuesdays, 3:30 to 5:30 for At the Table. You can find us here Wednesdays with all of our friends and all the heroes and the legends of Edge of Legend. I'm super excited because tomorrow's episode is The Sand Sea. It's probably going to be insane and intense. There's some other potential stuff happening Thursday. And, of course, you can find me on Poison Tulips on twitch.tv/Gilding Light this Saturday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. as I play Joaquin Twopenny and his aristocratic alter ego, Laro. More announcements as we go. We may have a fun special announcement at the top of Edge of Legend tomorrow for our 40th episode. I can't believe we made 40 already. This is exciting. Until then, we'll see you same Nat time and same Nat channel here at the table. Be safe, everyone.
Bye.